So good morning everyone, really nice to see you all and welcome to those who might be tuning in later. We're going to work on the feet today, grounding and our balance. So I'm going to tilt my screen so you can see, hopefully see my feet and what we're doing. So I've got bare feet, it's easier, but you can obviously do this with socks on and shoes on. So, with your feet hip width apart, spreading your toes out onto the floor, and then picking up your big toe, and you're aiming to get your big toe coming up, rather than your big toe going out to the side. So you want to pick up your two big toes and have them coming up as much as possible. And then put those down. And let's go again, pick up your big toes and then try and get them coming up. And then pick up your next toe and the next one and the next one and then your little pinky toe. And then try and put them down in that order. So it's little to the big toe. So little toe, next one, next one, next one, and then the big toe. And let's do it again, picking up your toe. The next one, next one, next one, next one. Just check what your hands are doing. Are they holding on or making a funny position? Relax your hands, relax your shoulders, and then put your toes down one by one. And then just one more time, picking up your big toe, then one by one, all the others if you can, to your little toe, and then putting them down one by one to your big toe. Okay. Then we're going to stretch the top of the foot. So take one foot behind you, curl your toes under, and then shift your weight back. So you get a stretch at the top of that back foot. And just hang on here for a moment. It shouldn't be so painful that you're holding on anywhere or your eyes are bulging out. Just enjoy that stretch. You can relax your shoulder blades, feel the rib cage lift. Feel the length at the back of the neck, arms hanging loose. Good. And then take the other foot, send that behind you, curl your toes under, and then shift your weight back. You might find one side bites a bit more than the other, especially if you've got a hard floor. If you've got carpet, this is a bit softer. Relax your arms, relax your shoulders, long neck, rib cage lift. Good. And then we'll just stretch the underside of our feet. So it's taking your foot back, but placing the toes facing forward. So the toes are on the floor, and you're pressing the ball of your foot backwards and you're pressing down into your toes. So you're getting a lovely stretch, the equivalent of this with your hands, getting that lovely stretch in your foot. Again, shoulders relaxed, rib cage lift, length at the back of your neck, pelvis level, it's not tilted one way or the other. Shifting your weight back, stretching the underside of your foot. Good, and then the other side. I'm just turning around each time so that my stretching foot is near the camera. So toes on the floor, balls of the feet going in that direction, heel up, and you should feel a stretch. If you don't, then wiggle around a bit until you do. Shoulders relaxed, length at the back of your neck, rib cage lifted. Good. And then coming back with your feet parallel, hips above feet. And then take your weight back into your heels slightly. And you're going to push down with your right foot into the ground. So you're going to push down, push down, push down, shift your weight over and push that leg down, push that hip down. And that brings your left leg off the floor. You don't want to squeeze your left stomach area, your left waist together. You want to push your right hip down, and that causes your pelvis to tilt a bit. So you should feel some work going on in your bum or the side of your leg. And you can just go up and down, making sure it's the muscles at the back and the side of your leg doing the work, and you're not squishing on your left side. So pushing that hip down, pushing the hip down. Strong and stable foot, grounding, toes are spread, grounding through that foot. Nice, strong leg, like an oak tree. And you're just pushing that hip down, 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 down to lift the left hip. You should feel nice and strong and stable in that right leg. Okay, let's go over to the other side. So shift your weight into your left foot, spread your toes nice and wide, and then without drawing up that right hip to take you out of alignment, press down with that left hip. You should feel it at the back or the sides, and maybe just a couple of times, pressing down with that left hip to bring the right hip up. So you're lifting at your hips. Strong and stable thighs, strong and stable leg, like an oak tree, roots going down into the ground. Feel the work going on at the back, inside the ball and socket joint, somewhere around there, or somewhere around the side of your thigh. Okay, good. So then, come back to the weight on the right leg. I'm just going to stand side on this way, sorry. Weight on the right leg, doing the hip lift, so pushing your leg into the ground, hip goes down, left hip comes off just slightly, toes are spread for your balance, weight is in the heel, and then shift your hips back. So you're bending at the hips. So bottom goes back, tailbone goes up, and you're bending here. Left leg just hangs, arms hang. Nice, strong, stable position, using the muscles of the leg. Like an oak tree, your leg is strong and stable, grounding into the ground. And then come up and try the other side. So left toes spread nicely on the floor. Push down into that left hip to bring your right foot off, and then leaning forward, or rather sticking your hips back and tailbone up. Spine is soft and long. Should be nice and stable. And coming up. One more time each side. So, right foot, toes spread, push down with your right hip, send your hips back, send your tailbone up, allow that left leg to hang, or arms can hang. Your spine is nice and soft, it's not rounded, you're not curling your back, spine is nice and soft. Stay grounded. Imagine your leg is like an oak tree, nice and strong and stable. And coming up. And then the other side, spreading your toes on your left foot. Push the outside of your left leg down. That brings up the hips. Going to send the hips back. Right leg is hanging. Left leg is doing all the work. Your spine is neutral. Pelvis is tucked. Not tucked. Pelvis is sort of bent at the pelvis. Tailbone is going up. And coming up. Okay, so I'm just going to tip my computer screen a bit more. Now, you're going to imagine the space underneath here to be nice and full and rich and thick. It's like it's full of stuff that you can just lay on. And we're going to go back to that position. So right foot, toes spread, engage that hip, push that right hip down, so left hip floats up, send your hips back and come forward. Now from this position, with our nice substance over here, we can just simply lay on that substance. And with our arms out, it gets even easier to balance. But all the work to keep you upright is in your solid, stable right leg. And you're just floating above this substance, being kept up above the horizontal. Your arms are resting on the substance. You're looking over it. Nice and easy. And coming up. Very nice. Same on the left foot. Spread your toes. Push your left hip down. So right leg is floating. Send your hips back. Engage that imagination of your left leg being like an oak tree, nice and solid, nice and stable. Spine is nice and long. And then just lifting up, being held by the space underneath you, nice and easy. Reaching out to infinity with your arms. Leg going back to infinity. Nice, strong, stable position. And coming up. Good. Okay. So we're going to put that, sorry, I'm going to speak to the, we're going to put that into the 4 elements exercise. And we're going to use that balancing bit at the beginning as well. So, sorry, excuse me. So coming to balancing on your right foot, pushing your right hip down and coming into that first moment where you curl in. It's that same principle, strong right leg, toes are spread, use your right hip to do the work before we come up into the fire position. So come back to our little potential of a spark. So right leg is grounded. Right hip is doing the work of pushing that right leg into the ground. And then explode up to our fire. That's the left leg that's coming down into our flight. So left heel is grounded. Left hip is going back. Left leg is like an oak tree, floating on the substance underneath us. And then coming up, pushing the earth back, and then water running forward and out to the side. And down. And let's go on the other side, nice and slow, like we did before. So, last time I picked up my left leg to start. This time I'm picking up my right leg. So my left toes are spread on the floor. My weight is going down through my heel. I'm going to push my left hip down and bring my right knee in to that little ball at the beginning. Nice, strong, stable left leg. Push your hip down. Toes are spread. And then come into the fire. And it's going to be your right leg taking you out to that air balance. Hip back, hip working, strong, balancing on the substance beneath you. Arms extending out to the periphery. Back foot extended. Spine is long. Then coming through, pushing the earth away. And imagine the water running forward over your hands, out to the side and down. Okay. I'm going to orientate myself to a different position and we'll do a few more together. So, doesn't matter which leg you start on. Arms coming up. Up to your fire. Arms spread, leg out, grounding. Pushing the earth away. Water running over your hands, out to the side. And coming down. Other side. Coming into your fire, ground that foot down. Come up. Imagine grounding through that heel. Be stable through the hip. Floating on that space, reaching infinity. Coming up to your earth, the water, and finish. Couple more. Rounding, balancing, reaching out to infinity. Okay, what I've just done, if I don't think about it, I keep doing the same leg over and over again. So make sure you're switching sides, one side and then the other side. Let's go again. Coming up, grounding through the heel. Up to your fire, open out to the air, expand, expand, expand. Coming to your earth, grounding, grounding, grounding. And then water flowing away and out. Other foot. Good. Let's come back to our that position where we're being pushing one hip down into the ground. So the hips. So I'm going to spread my right toes, push my right hip down, and my left hip is floating. Come back to pushing your hips back, leaning forward on the space, and then this space in front of you lifts your arms out to the side. But we can just as easily, of course, put one arm forward, one arm back, and lift our back leg. And of course, I'm going to show you this way, we're into a different exercise here. But it's just as easy, we're not using the width, we're still floating on that space underneath, being held by that space. Our right leg is grounded and coming up. Let's try that on the other side. So left foot, toes are spread. Push down with your left hip. Send your tailbone back and up, coming into that forward bend. And it's so easy just to bring your arms up out to the side or out into this position here. So one leg back, same arm attached to that back leg, and one arm out in front, and coming up. Really nice. So we'll do the great vertical a couple of times. So choose your foot to start with. Reaching out, reaching out, reaching out, taking a step. Coming up to vertical. And really think about grounding that foot before you get there. Grounding the foot, being stable through that leg. Enjoy reaching out to the space and coming up. Reaching, 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 reaching back, reaching back, reaching back. Coming up and coming down. Other side, reaching forward. Reaching up, 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 up. Imagine grounding down before you get there. Being stable. Ground down. Enjoy the stability. Reaching up. Reaching up, 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 up. And just simply opening out. And coming down. Let's do one more on each side. Reaching, 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 grounding before you get there. Imagine that space. Imagine reaching forward and backwards with your arm and leg. Off into infinity. And then coming up. Opening out. And other side. Reaching, lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Grounding yourself and balancing is easy. Lengthening through the arm and the foot that are in the air. And coming up, lengthening back, lengthening back, lengthening back. Good. Okay, let's finish off. We'll do two 4 elements and then 2 great verticals. One on each foot, so I might have to go a bit further back. Okay, so feeling that levity rising up, gravity going down, long neck, rib cage lift. Your feet are alive and awake, ready to ground you. Your hips are going to work. And coming up into your ball, up. Be held by the space. Rounding through that foot, reaching to the periphery, grounding yourself here, water flowing forward and out, a great vertical, reaching up, imagine yourself grounding before you get there. Woo! I was thinking of something else. Coming up, reaching back, reaching back. And the other side. So grounding down. Good. Very nice, everyone. So, just to have a think about your day today, and just think, where are you grounded? And where are you balanced? Where are you in balance and where are you grounded? Just to take those things away with you today. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan. And for anyone that's been here and wants to thank Susan for her time and the wonderful insights that she's bringing to us, for me, that was just perfect for my morning. So please do thank her with a coffee, or obviously a lovely message as well. And I've just put the link here for Susan's Buy Me Coffee page, and that would be greatly appreciated, I'm sure, sharing the love. Thank you very much, Susan. That was absolutely wonderful. I'll just finish the recording and we'll get everyone unmuted. So for those watching on replay, have a wonderful day.